Hi Prabhu, thank you for taking out the time and joining us, and we congratulate you on the behalf of our team for cracking the Holy Trinity ABC. So, how are you feeling? What was your actual feeling when you? I think the results came out with some gap. So,
Exactly
what?
1 month before. Yeah.
Yeah, what was going through your mind when you were seeing the results?
Yeah. So hi Ajay, first of all, hi. Yeah, thank you. What you're doing is really good. That taking this initiative and trying to reach people and connect people. So you asked about the results, right? Like I think it was on May 8th, and it was around 1 o'clock or 1:30 or so. So I was there in lots of WhatsApp groups. Like right after people get calls from all the colleges, there are groups with IMA calls, B calls, and everything. So people were putting on messages that result will be coming. Actually, instead they announced that the result would be coming on May 8th. So we were all waiting for results, and then suddenly people started putting messages in the group that converted, and everything. Actually, they kind of told that people would be getting mails that if they have converted, they will be getting mails. So I went to my mail. I checked my mail and I didn't get any mail actually. But then again I went to WhatsApp, and there was this link actually wherein you go to the website and you put in your register number and mail ID, and then I saw that I've actually converted the call. What I did is actually I got up, I started, I did some signs and I jumped off, and then after a while I got relaxed, and my mom, my brother, everyone were really happy. But then they were also waiting for the other result to come, like the Bangalore's result to come, because they were hoping that I would take Bangalore and go to Bangalore since it's closer to my city, and that was the intention actually. Like I actually wanted to take IIM Bangalore and go there, but then things change, decisions change. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Prabhu, take us through your journey. Where have you? Where did you do your schooling, your college, and then there would be a point in time where you might have realized that I would have to. I would want to do an MBA. So just take us through that journey of yours.
Yeah, sure. Like I was born and brought up entirely in Chennai, so I did my schooling, everything in Chennai. And then actually, if you take any student from Tamil Nadu background or something, like the life goes on like this. Like till ninth, you don't have anything to worry about. You go to school, you do all kinds of activities, you participate in different events and everything. But then there comes this point wherein uh, in standard 10th you have to completely change your focus to studies. You have to get good marks in the board exams so that you could get a science seat in your 11th and 12th, and then you have to score again in 12th so that you could get a good engineering college. So my journey kind of changed at that point. Like till ninth I wasn't serious, very much serious about my studies, but I was getting good ranks and so, but I didn't really focus much on studies. But after 10th, actually my dad passed away when I was in 10th standard, like when I just entered 10th standard. So at that point we had to change our home. Like I came in, we shifted to our grandparents' home. So after that, I kind of had this single focus, which is to concentrate on studies and score good marks. So I scored really good marks in 10th, and then even in 12th, I got my only aim was to get this 200 cutoff so that I could get in the first day counseling and get into some good engineering college. So even in 12th, I scored really good marks. That kind of helped me to land in CG, wherein the college really helped me, and the college was really good actually. So that was my journey till that point, wherein till I completed my school. But then after getting into college, I didn't focus on my studies. I was participating in all kinds of events. There were many clubs that were part of my college. We had a very huge exposure. Like we our classes were very short in time. We didn't have much classes to attend, and there wasn't very big compulsory that we had certain attendances. So I focused on other activities. I participated in several club activities. I coordinated events. So it was kind of that. But even during my college, I really didn't have this idea of taking up an MBA or something. It was always about uh, getting placed and landing up in a good job and also. So, but kind of my interests were aligned towards management, wherein I was the marketing secretary in my club, and then there was this if you are a mechanical engineer, you might know this is actually an event called Baha India, wherein we build a all-terrain vehicle, and we teams from all over India participate in this event. It happens in indoor actually. So almost half of my college days were in the Baha workshop, wherein we worked as a group. There were around 25 team members. We would work day in and day night. Like I slept in workshops. So my half of my college was focused in that particularly. I was raising sponsorships and all kind of management activities. I was doing those, and it really helped me in getting a job also in my UG. But then the point of taking a cat or this thing didn't strike me during my college days. I didn't even consider this as an option. My only option was like my only aim was to get placed in a good core company and then proceed with my career goals. So I got placed in Voltas, and then the corporate journey began. And then the first 6 months, as part of our GET training, I was posted at a site. I was working there as a site engineer, and then the work was really hectic. Like I didn't even have time to think about something else. Like the project was at a crucial stage, and there were really lot of commitments that I had to do. There was this huge payment that was pending with the customer. I had to collect it, and till December or January, I think last year, like 2019, I really didn't think about anything else. My only my only thought was about completing the job and getting out of it. So after January, in Voltas, we have a thing called wherein we have two different rotations. For the first 6 months of the GET training, you will be put in one department, and the second 6 months, you will be put in other department. So I was put into sales. So going into sales, it was like entirely different from the project phase, wherein I didn't have to go to office. All I did was uh, roam anywhere in Chennai. I would go to all kinds of dealers. I would meet different other brand dealers. I would meet architects, consultants. So it was just about meeting people, like marketing our product and everything. So I kind of liked the sales more than projects, because in projects I feel you are limited to certain options, wherein you gain a lot of knowledge, you improve a lot, you learn a lot while working in project. But in sales, you get to meet different people from different backgrounds and everything. So I really liked sales. Uh, Actually, the idea of MBA came after I got into sales. I think it was around February or March or something like that. I was having some normal conversation with my friends. We were speaking about our work, life, and everything after college. It was around 1 year after college. So both of my friends, it was a conference call, and both of my other friends, they were also part of my club, which I told you, the Baha club, which I was part of. So they were also in a work similar to me, and we were all talking how we improve our career and what do we do actually. So that's when like MBA status, and like one of my friend, he started going to classes and he started his preparation. So the other two of us, like we were also thinking about CAT. And if you think about CAT, the first thing that strikes your mind is that around 2 lakh people write the exams, and only 1% or 2% of the people clear the CAT, and no one can clear it within this span, and all kinds of thoughts came to us. But then we decided that we'll give it a shot. It's not that difficult or so. So we thought like we would give CAT 19 a chance. If not CAT 19, maybe we could give it in CAT 20. So that was the first thing that motivated me to take CAT 19. So actually, after deciding to take CAT 19, I wasn't proper in my preparation. I bought Arun Sharma book. I went to a bookstore and I bought Arun Sharma book, but I couldn't prepare actually. I couldn't spend time in preparing. I couldn't sit for hours and prepare. So that's when I decided that I should go to some class, some weekend class or something like that. Only then I would start with my preparation. So I joined a class over here. Then even then, I was very regular to the classes. I would never miss any class. I would be attending every classes every week. But even during the day, like even during the week, I couldn't actually practice a lot. So that's when I kind of joined all these groups. Like there are CAT preparation groups in Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, and everything. So when I joined those groups, like you would get a lot of questions. Like every day, there are people who are like working out every day, and they put photographs of different sums and everything. So even during my office hours, when I'm going outside, when I'm waiting to meet someone, I would just look into my phone. I would look at those problems and everything, and that's how I did my weekly preparation. And during my weekend, it was going to class and attending the class. So it was like that.
So, when did you start giving your mock examinations, and then how did that go?
Yeah, actually, after deciding to take CAT 19, I spoke with my seniors. I spoke with around 5 people at least who were at the time studying in IMA, B, and Colicode actually. So I spoke with them, and the one thing everyone advised us to take mocks. So even I was like convinced that I should take mocks, because in my 12th standard, we had exams like we would have written some hundreds of exams before taking the actual board exam. So if you practice, if you kind of write a lot of exams, you would actually get better at it, because you would have the hang of it. You would have the feel of writing exams since you have done it many times. It would be easy at the D day or the CAT day. So I decided to take mocks, and then I inquired the famous institutes wherein they had a separate mock series. I didn't join one of those like the big chain or the big coaching institutes. I joined a SIR actually. Like I joined, it's a coaching center wherein one person, he teaches the classes. He is an alum from MUS. So I joined him. It was not a well-known or famous institute. I went there just so that I could be consistent in my preparation. I would be regular in my preparation. So the mock series I took was IMS and Career Launcher. I took these two, and I did take AIMCATs also. I took around 5 or 6 AIMCATs, but I took all the other SIMCATs. I had written around some 40 or 45 mocks at least. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the reason is because I even with the mock series, we had this topic tests and sectional tests, but every time I take it, I couldn't work it out continuously. Like the topic test would be of 15 minutes length. So if I complete one topic test, I would take my phone, I would go to Instagram, or I would spend a lot of time and I would forget it completely. So that's why I shifted my preparation from topic test or sectional into mocks. If you take a mock, there would be timer going on, and you would have to spend at least the next 3 hours writing that mock. So every time I feel like preparing, I would take up a mock and I would start writing it. Yeah.
So, how were your mock scores, and how did it affect your confidence?
So my mock score where it was kind of going up and down. Like the first mock which I took, it was some free mock that was available in some website. So I think that mock was very easy. That's why I scored a really good mark. I think I scored around 130 or something. So I was like, I was very confident that okay, I checked what the percentage corresponded to, and I was like, oh, without even preparing, I could get this much. But then after taking the real mock series, the first mock, I think I got around some 70 or 80. It was less than 80 percentile. So only then I realized that I had to prepare, and that mock which I took wasn't an actual CAT test. So my scores were really oscillating. Like if you take any mock series, there would be alternate tests. One you could where you could take it at home, and one where you go to the center and take it. I noticed that when I was taking the mocks at home, I really scored very poorly. Like I didn't get past 80 or 90 percentile. But when I went to this centers and had this proper setup of wherein you have this system and then working out, I got some decent percentage. I got more than 90 percentile. I was able to score more than 100, 110. So one thing that what I didn't do properly is that while writing mocks, I would lie down, I would be sitting. I didn't have this proper exam kind of setup, and I was working out simply like only when I went to the centers, I did really good. So I would always like advise them to have a proper desk setup wherein you have that feel of writing the final CAT exam and attempt it. So that was there. But one thing from the start of my preparation that went bad was my VARC section. I couldn't improve it because I don't have a proper reading habit. I don't read books. Also, I don't even read newspapers regularly. I would just go through this news in my phone. So VARC, I couldn't get my scores, very good scores, but both in my quants and DLR, I could manage decent scores because I like maths really from my school, and I was scoring good there as well. So quants, I was able to manage, but I didn't get the 1995 or 99%, but I was able to get 90s definitely all the mocks in QA. VARC was one section that horrified me till CAT. Even after CAT, until the results came, I was really afraid that I wouldn't even clear the sectional cutoff of VARC. So that's it.
So when you're giving mocks, sometimes you might have got good percentile. Sometimes, like you told, it was oscillating. So was it affecting your confidence, or you were sure that you will be able to eventually catch up?
Actually, like since my start of the preparation, I wasn't like entirely focused on giving CAT this year. Like I know that I should be getting more than 97 or 98. Only then I could land up in ABC or the LKI colleges. So I was like, let me give this year, because it was almost April when I started the preparation. So I thought, let me give this year. I would take this as a trial ball, and then the next year, CAT 20 would be my real attempt. So the mock scores didn't affect me in any way, because even my friends who were writing, they also scored really. They were also scored around the same mocks that I was getting. So that scores didn't really affect me. But towards the end, that actually helped me, because 1 week or before, like the last week before CAT, the actual CAT exam, I decided to take two mocks, one on Tuesday and one on Thursday, so that then the Friday and Saturday I would be attempting any mocks. I would go on Saturday and take the exam. So Tuesday I took up this mock. I think it was the SimCAT 15, the last mock of IMS series. So I scored really well. Like I got around 140 in that mock. So that's when I decided I won't be taking any other mock from that time. Like Tuesday was my last mock, and I decided I'm not going to take any mock, because if I get, maybe after the mock which I took on Thursday, if I had gotten some bad marks, that would have affected my confidence. So I stopped with it. I was just brushing through the QA formulas and everything. But so I think the mock scores affected me only towards the end. During my preparation, it really didn't affect me. It was mostly about attempting different like many number of mocks, and then learning new sets, listening to those video solutions and everything. So that was my intent. The mock scores didn't affect me as much. Yeah.
And how much time? I mean, were you analyzing your mocks? Like, where are your areas of weakness, or your sometimes there will be questions where you're just wasting time.
Yeah.
Instead, you could have gone to the next question, which would have been an easy question. Were you analyzing those aspects?
Yeah, I was analyzing those aspects, but like my senior advised, like he told, if you are taking up a 3 hour mark, you should be actually analyzing it for 6 hours. So that's what he told me. But as I told you, like I can't sit for long hours doing the same thing. So that's why I took mocks in the first place. So after taking up mock, I would be like I wanted to analyze those mocks. I would sit and start, but then I would somehow get diverted and get on with some of the work. So what I did was I would look at those graphs that they have in those mock series, wherein they actually have different kinds of mocks, wherein they would be highlighting what's your strong area, where you spent less time, and where you scored more marks, and in questions where you spent more time and didn't attempt it or scored a negative mark. So I was looking at those. I was making a comparison of those two. Like in all DLR sections, I was always able to get all correct in my DA questions. And LR questions, like I was taking time, but I could solve it. But DA, if I take those questions, like if you take a set of 4 questions, I was able to get it all correct. So it kind of helped me to know what my strengths and weaknesses are. But I feel that I could have analyzed more. Actually, I could have gone with every question and each and every question. That would have actually helped me better. Yeah.
Definitely, because I think, like you told, that having that self-awareness really helps. Because when you're giving the actual CAT, you should bank on your strengths rather than
Yeah.
trying to focus on everything, and then eventually doing bad in the areas which you could have actually done better.
Yeah.
So, so you're giving your CAT, and then the results I mean, you might have seen the. I mean, in December itself, you get to see your.
Yeah. Even not actually in December, even before the official key gets released, there are these coaching institutes where they kind of list out all the questions and
Correct,
answers.
correct.
Yeah, so after giving my CAT, I was really worried actually, because I took the second slot this year, and the VARC section this year was really tougher. Like compared to the
Correct,
previous
correct.
years, the VARC section this year was relatively tougher. So I was very I was not sure that I would clear the sectional cutoff of VRC. But then DALR, I attempted total 15 questions, and I was sure that 12 of them were correct. So I know that for 12 questions, 36 marks would give me some percentile around 95 above. And then QA, I attempted around 26 questions, and that was my best attempt ever. Like even in my mocks, I couldn't attempt more than 20 questions anytime. But then after when we were discussing in phone with my friends, that I told them that I have attended 26 questions in QA, they were really surprised, because they attempted around 15 or so. So I was actually really worried that if I had made many mistakes or so, I would be getting negative marks or something like that. So only after looking at the key and then calculating the marks, I was still slightly relieved. Even I even got like I was actually driving that day when the result, like when the key official key got released. I was going in my bike, and then my friend called me and he told that the key got released. I literally had shivers that day, and I couldn't think of anything. Like I right away went to some juice shop or something. I parked my vehicle there and then had relaxed myself and then looked at the key. Yeah.
Uh, So, when the official CAT score got out, you would have been getting an idea whether you'll be getting the calls or not. So, how did you start your WAT and PI preparation from that
Yeah.
point till your interviews? Because there will be hardly one or, I mean,
2
sometimes
months,
maybe 1 month.
1 or 1.5 months. Yeah.
Correct, correct.
Yeah. So after the results came, I think it was January 4th, I think. Yeah, January 5th, I had that exam and it came the before day. So I know I got a percentage of 98.31. So I know that I would be given I had OBC certificate. So I know that I would be getting all the six. Also, my ACADS was good throughout. So I know that I would be getting all the calls. But then, as I told you earlier, I don't read newspapers often, and I don't really have like uh, broader idea of what happened. Actually, the last year I was totally off from it. I was just going through news that were relevant to me. I was focusing on some small reads or so, but I don't really had an idea at the time of what was happening at the time. So I thought I would go to some coaching institute and join there. Actually, I got transferred when I was I think it was in July or so. So I went to classes for 4 months here in Chennai, but then after going to Coimbatore, I couldn't continue with the class which I joined initially. So then I looked for coaching institutes in Coimbatore, where especially for GDPA preparation, and I joined there. Actually, going there really helped me because there were many people who came there, and we would have weekly discussions over there. We would be given some random topics, and around 20 different students would be coming with their own set of points, and we were all discussing about it. So that really helped me to have a broader view and points of like the points range from almost like commerce graduates were there, CA graduates were there, and everyone was able to give their own views, and that really helped me. But I also took this online series called Napoli, wherein he kind of explained all the current happenings and everything. Also, I installed that app called Napoli. I think it was mainly focused for the UPSC aspirants to know this current affairs and things. So that also really helped me in preparing for VAT PI. But then I would say that those mock interviews which I gave also really helped me to know, because I think I gave around 5 mock interviews before going to the actual interview in the center, and I also had this video call with my so who I went initially in Chennai. So those mocks also really helped me to have the feel of it, and that really helped me actually. Yeah.
So, how did your interviews go? What kind of questions were asked? What were some of your experiences from the interviews that you have given?
Yeah, my interview experience. none of my interviews were focused on the current affairs thing, which I was preparing for the 1 month before my interviews. So all my interviews, it was more focused on my work experience. Since I was in sales, the panelists were more interested in knowing about my job, the kind of people I met, the customers, their behavior, and all my questions were put with my work only. My work really helped me in my interviews. Um, I can't think of any interviews that went off topic or something except for Code interview. All other interviews of mine were entirely focused on my job and then also some other aspects of related to my job. There was no current affairs questions that was asked to me, and I didn't have this stress interview or whatever. All my interviews were really friendly, and if I tell that, then people would think that because the general perception is that these IM interviews are so tough and everything, but none of my interviews was actually like that.
Yeah, I think your work experience really helped you out over there, and I think you were very good at what you were doing while you were working at Voltas. I
Yeah,
think you were good at what you were doing, and then that really helped. And you are also, even during your undergrad days, I think you were very much into those kind
yeah,
of things, and it really helped you out.
yeah,
So
of course, yeah,
yeah. So Prabhu, I think what I feel is undergrad college plays a very important role in shaping you up as a person. So how did you shared some insight like what you are doing and all, and especially undergrad college, and then the kind of friends that you have, the kind of discussions that you have with them, and their encouragement and the role of mentors is very important. So you mentioned that how your friends, you are having conversations and all. So just take us through how your college shaped you as a person, and how did your friends encourage you in helping you out with your journey towards getting into IIMs?
yeah. So during my college, as I told you earlier, the college which I studied in, it's a autonomous body wherein so the exams and the academic related portions weren't much. We didn't actually need to prepare for those exams and everything. If you could prepare just the 1 day before your exams, you will be getting good grades and everything. So that's sorted. So we had really a good campus and all those facilities wherein we would have there would be always some technical fest that would be going on in our campus. So participating in those events and then actually going outside your college and when I was part of our department symposium club wherein we had to go to different several other colleges in Tamil Nadu and market our events to them and then bring in them to participate in our events. So that gave us a different experience wherein we went to different colleges, we spoke with different people, we were interacting with them, we were convincing them to come to our colleges. And so and then I would actually contribute that experience which I had as part of being in the Baha Club actually, because the event is organized so perfectly that they would give you the actual feel of how a corporate operates. Or so we would be having these deadlines that we have to meet up with. We would have to send reports regularly of our vehicle status and everything. So those experiences really helped me in my work actually, and I would say that experience actually helped me during my college interviews also. So as I told you, like when I came into my job, the first job which I was given was to execute this job wherein I had some around 20 to 30 site workers in my site, and I had to coordinate with everyone and to get the progress done. There were different things going on in the project. It was a HVAC project wherein there would be some duct work going on somewhere, there would be some installation work going on some other. So you had to be running around, you have to be speaking with vendors in Hindi, and then so the experience which I had in my first 6 months, that that helped me to manage anything in my life, like any kind of work. I could do multitasking at the time, so that actually helped me, uh, which would actually because I did a similar role when I was in my college. Like when we were working on that project, we would have we had to build one single vehicle wherein there were around 200 parts or so. We would be running to workshops that were close to our college. We would be speaking with vendors, we would be getting our parts fabricated, and so since we had this kind of experience in our college itself, that was really helpful while in work. So I would say college is something where you could pursue any kind of interest what you are up to, and discover yourself. Yeah.
I think Prabhu, you shared some pretty, interesting story. And what I can make from the story is that the reason why your interviews also went well was because you had that kind of an experience, and that experience came because you're already doing that in your college. Because
College,
since
yeah,
you're doing
like
college, that happened in your stint at
work.
Volta, which
Yeah,
you are actually speaking about in the IIM interviews, and which the professors can actually relate to, because sales is one important skill that every MBA candidate should have. I think that was the major
aspect.
point. Many of the candidates, especially what happens is, you know that you're going to do an MBA and you don't try to learn much from your job. But if you take the story of Prabhu, he was doing his job heartfully, and he was even doing the same kind of things in his undergrad. So if you're in your undergrad and if you're part of any fest, and if you have an inclination to go towards an MBA, make sure you're maximizing your learnings over there. That's what Prabhu did. He maximized his time during his workshops. He was part of some good clubs and committees that actually helped him in his college interviews, and he got into Voltas. And even over there, when he was in a sales role, he was able to use all these skills, and that actually helped him out in his actual IIM interviews. And since he was able to do all those things well, I think that's the one of the major reasons that he was able to convert all these things. So if you are actually right now working, try to maximize your learnings from there. Try to apply as much knowledge as you have over there, so that once you're actually giving the interviews, and this would all, also be helpful when you're doing your MBA and post your MBA, because at the end of the day, the work that you do really matters. So Prabhu, that was really insightful. The things that you shared about your undergrad, about what you are doing at your during your work experience. During your work at Voltas, and how did those things actually help you out in your actual IIM interviews? Those were really helpful. Prabhu, thank you for taking out the time and sharing all these things. And we
Thank you.
hope that you're going to have a great time at IIM Ahmedabad.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you. And I would really personally appreciate you for doing this kind of initiative and you bring in different people from different backgrounds and helping out these aspirants, because I think it would be really helpful for those people actually. Like instead of me typing a message wherein I share my preparation strategy or so, a video call or a video interview would actually help them in a better way. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thanks. Thanks a lot, Prabhu, for your
yeah.
kind words. And I think definitely each one should not literally be applying whatever any person is saying if they have made it to the IIMs, because each one has their unique story. Try to apply it to your own story and try to take the learnings from them, and try to apply them as much as possible, so that you will be better off by avoiding the mistakes and doing the correct things that these people have done. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for taking out the time.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.